So hello, good evening. We are here again live on Facebook tonight with Alex from United Kingdom. It's a pleasure being here with you tonight. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm doing well. Good to see you, Betty.
Yeah. The two of us, we don't know so much, or I don't know so much of you, actually. I had the pleasure of being with you in the apprenticeship, in Jack's apprenticeship this February, which is part of the 100-day program. And I have been guided by you through those 10 days, which was really lovely. So my first question coming up is, who has guided you? How have you reached POV?
How did I find it?
Yeah, how did you find
it? I had a friend who told me about a workshop, and she explained again and again and again what it was about, and I couldn't understand her. I couldn't get what she was saying, and it was so weird. It was like I knew I needed to go. I could sense that this was absolutely for me, but I had no concept of this sort of work. I wasn't spiritual. I was I think in my 50s, just into my 50s, and this was completely new concept. I didn't understand the vocabulary either. and it was like starting an adventure. I went on this. I had absolutely no idea what to expect, and I was just blown away. And it hit me. I mean, it hit me so forcibly. It was so profound. It's like it ticked all the boxes I didn't even know I wanted ticked. You know, it was just amazing. And I was hooked. Straight away, right from the first, from the get-go. Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice story. So what changed in your life then? Who was Alex before?
Well, it was interesting. I think it was my second workshop. Was a 5-dayer, and I was going to go. My son was going to go on holiday elsewhere, and I got a call saying that his holiday was falling through, so he was going to make it back, and he was in Berlin, and he was 14, and he was going to have to get back by himself. And I was leaving for this workshop, a single parent. So it was, what shall I do? And it just felt true that he'd be fine, and I would stay in contact with him. And so my relationship with him changed over those 5 days. First, he came home, and it was like I started to understand about not worrying about somebody, even though he was quite young, had never taken that journey before. And he crossed Europe and got home fine by train. And then when I got back home, it was like he'd evolved. And I let him go. I changed. And the dynamics was different. And it was amazing. And he was empowered by it. So I recognized, the mirror that POV talk about right from the start, about the world as a mirror. I really got that again really hit me, how just in those few days, everything was very different when I got back home.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to maybe go a bit deeper and explain a little bit what happened, or what can someone do when they are worried, or
Well, yeah, I mean, I obviously, to start with, that was my default, was to I was concerned the whole time at the beginning of the workshop, and checking my phone and emails, and checking, constantly finding my mind going to him. And with help from the trainer and with the workshop, I realized how worrying for someone doesn't help them, doesn't keep them safe. and it's not the truth. And I could feel myself letting go, and you know, discovering this place where I could let him, I could trust. I could trust in and trust him to heaven, trust him to the universe, and that he'd be safe. And interestingly, when I spoke to him, he never felt worried or upset about any of it at all. He just thought it was a journey, an adventure type journey. It was exciting. Yeah, and he had people helping him the whole time, and so. And the other thing that I think I really got too was it didn't matter how much the distance was between us. That when I let go, he felt more empowered immediately. You know, it doesn't matter what the distance is. The dynamics works across time and space.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah.
So about trusting in the universe, mentioning that, and then at the beginning you mentioned that you weren't at all spiritual. So what connection, how did it come to that you in some case or any way you became spiritual, that you then on the second workshop you were talking about the universe?
Well, in some ways, because I wasn't religious in any way, I didn't have anything to undo. So maybe it wasn't necessarily harder for me. But what I did, you know, it's like I suddenly discovered I had this other dimension with me, this other area that I'd had no experience, and it was an experience. That was the other thing about psychology of vision, really right from the start, was that it was an experience. It wasn't like learning something new and, you know, understanding up here. It was like, oh my God, something's happening, you know, something's changing. Oh goodness, what's this feeling? What's this? And, you know, feeling grace for the first time. It was really appreciating what it was. I'm sure I felt it before, but I didn't have an awareness of it. So yeah.
Oh. And then all the way up becoming a trainer.
All the way up to becoming a trainer. Yes, right.
How come? How did this develop? And you just got so
well,
engaged?
I was really quite happy doing. I got my 100 days quite quickly, and I did mastery for. I think I did it 5 times in a row, and I was quite happy. I was loving. Oh, that was. I recommend it to everybody. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And yeah, I think eventually the penny dropped. This was what I wanted to do. You know, this is what I wanted to make my day job and do all the time. So yeah.
Just wowing me today. Really nice. What happened at the mastery that you did it 5 times? Why do you recommend it? What's happening there?
Well, for me, it became very much part of my life. Mastery is a program that you do the 10 days at the beginning of the year, and you're supported all the way through. In those days, it was called with Chuck and Lency. I think the format's changed a bit now, but yeah, so it's a whole year of learning and really focusing the mind. And then, yeah, it just, it's so rich. I couldn't imagine not having it in my life. I mean, and in fact, becoming a trainer was just a slightly different idea, maybe more committed, obviously. Teaching and facilitating much more. Wow. But it's that idea of yeah, this is what I wanted to do, and spending my life doing it. Yeah,
cool. Real transformation, actually.
Yeah.
Is there a fun story or a special juicy story that happened through those years of transformation you want to share, maybe?
Oh golly,
or many, I guess so many.
Yeah, no, there really have been. There have been a lot. I think for me, right at the beginning of this journey with POV, I went to a theatre and it was a funny play, and I was right at the front with a group of friends. God, I've forgotten this. And I suddenly heard this laughter, and it was me. And I realized that I not laughed for years in that way, just completely letting go and laughing. And it was such a shock. Because I always used to laugh a lot. And
I know you're very
what's
funny.
this sound? What's this noise coming out of me? So yeah, I mean, that was amazing. Amazing to realize how closed down I've become, and you know, and then not recognizing how unhappy I was, I guess, in many ways. Yeah, so that was pretty transformational.
Yeah, all the happiness flopped out.
And the relationship with my ex changed. And we, you know, it's a long time now, but we're good friends and very supportive. I think it must have made a huge impact on our son.
Wow, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean that became completely different.
Amazing. And so much humor, which is really for me as well part of
well, yes, from no humor to laughing is important. Yes.
Yeah.
Good for your for the fun side of life. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the belly muscles.
Yes. The workout, the laughter workout. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much, Alex, for this insight. Really, really interesting. Is there anything you want to share maybe with the viewers, or a recommendation you are having?
Well, I mean, the only thing is just to if you haven't done it before, try it, because it's sort of, and you really don't need to understand what it's about before you go. It's like just imagining having a ticket for something extraordinary and just, you know, go and suck it and see. Certainly, yeah, it's unusual. It's maybe not for everybody, but I can't see why not. But yeah, try it. Yeah, absolutely, just try it. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Betty.
It was really funny with you. Many kisses to you, to United Kingdom, and see you soon in a workshop, maybe.
All right, lots of love. Bye.
Bye.